Hello students, today we are going to discuss the chapter of kinematics, and that is called the two-dimensional motion. And the first thing which we are going to learn in two-dimensional motion is the concept based on projectile motion, the very famous topic of class 11 and widely asked questions also. So the projectile motion, as we all know, when you project a body in such a way that it makes an angle. So it makes an angle, the initial velocity will make an angle of theta, okay, and due to which it will go up in the air and then falls back on the earth. This is what we call a typical projectile motion. Now here we need to understand certain things very clearly so that during the course of discussion it becomes very clear to you. This u is the initial velocity of projection, and this theta is the initial angle of projection, okay, or we just say that angle of projection. As it goes above in air and then finally tries to come back to the earth and lands on the ground, this distance where it lands on the ground is referred as range. This maximum displacement in the vertical direction is referred as height, and the total time it takes from ground to ground is called the time of flight. So from here till here, if I consider that this is t by 2 and then this is again t by 2, so total time of flight is t by 2 plus t by 2, that is equal to t. Okay, now here always keep one thing in mind, the time of ascent is equal to time of descent. Okay, the time it takes to reach to the maximum height, and from there when it comes back to the earth, the time taken is same. Okay, now how to deal with projectile motion? Okay, so to deal with projectile motion, we are going to discuss it in two different ways, and those two different ways are x and y. What is x and what is y? X is the x component and y is the y component. So if I consider x to be the displacement along x direction, this is the displacement along x direction, then this displacement will be governed, because I am dealing along the x direction, so this displacement will be governed because of the velocity along x direction only, because of the acceleration along x direction only. Okay, the x component will be dealt with the velocity along x and the acceleration along x. Similarly, if I define y as the displacement along y direction, that is the vertical direction, displacement along y, then this displacement will be dealt with the velocity along y and the acceleration along y. Okay, you never have to think about the actual path, because we don't discuss the actual path. See, when I say that the body starts from here and reaches to this particular point, this is the actual path traveled by the body. Don't get panic, nobody is going to ask you what is the actual distance traveled by the body. It is beyond the scope of class 11. Okay, so we never deal with how much is the actual distance traveled by the body when the body has gone from here to here. Nobody will care about it. Okay, what do we really care is if it has reached at this particular point, definitely in the coordinate system it will have some y displacement and it will have some x displacement, correct? And it is this y and x displacement which is very important, and that things we discussed using these methods. Okay, so to start with, let us redraw a clear diagram and then we will try to understand this again. So this one is your initial velocity which makes an angle of theta. Alright. And let us consider at any instant of time the body has reached here before the maximum height anywhere. Okay. So consider that this particular point has undergone a y displacement and has undergone a x displacement. Okay. If you see this initial velocity as u, which is projected in this direction as u, which makes an angle of theta, I can very safely resolve this as u cos theta and u sin theta as the initial velocities along x and y direction. So let me refer this as ux, the initial velocity along x direction, and this as uy as the initial velocity along y direction. Okay. Now here, don't take this as granted that u cos is always the x and u sin is always the y direction velocity. Reason why I am saying do not take this as granted, because what if the question says that theta is the angle made with the vertical? So if theta is the angle made with the vertical, that means with the horizontal it will make an angle of 90 minus theta. In that case, this component will become u cos 90 minus theta, and that will eventually become u sin theta, and that gives us the y component as u cos theta. Okay. So read the questions very carefully to identify how the question is defining the theta. Whether the question is defining theta with the vertical or whether the question is defining theta with the horizontal. But as per the definition goes for angle of projection, when they say the theta is the angle of projection is always defined with respect to the horizontal line, the ground line. Okay. So keep that in mind. So we will continue with this concept over here, that the initial velocity along x direction is u cos theta and initial velocity along y direction is u sin theta. So I have got our first data. The first data is ux, initial velocity along x direction is u cos theta, uy is equal to u sin theta. Now coming back to the acceleration. Now in ground, when you are projecting it up at an angle, remember there is only one acceleration which is acting, and that acceleration is minus of g, which is acting downwards. Okay. If we ignore the air resistance, that means that along x direction the acceleration is 0. Okay. This is very important part. Acceleration along x direction is 0 and acceleration along y direction is minus of g. Now we have now got the accelerations along each directions. So along x direction I have got that acceleration along x direction is 0, whereas acceleration along y direction is minus of g. And this too is what we require. Now along with this information, what we need? We need those three equations of motion of kinematics 1. Those are v equal to u plus at, s equal to ut plus half at square, and v square minus u square equal to twice of as. So allow me to write that. So if I use the formula of v equal to u plus at, remember this formula, v equal to u plus at. Now all you have to do is you have to just put a suffix called x over here, x over here, x over here. Similarly, you write the formula v equal to u plus at. And then you write here y, here you write y, and here you write y. Don't get panic, ax will always become 0. Now if you see here, if I put ax as 0, that means in projectile motion my vx will be always equals to ux, because this term is 0. What does it mean? It means that the velocity along the x direction of projectile motion always remains same. No change at all. So initially at this point, if it is having a velocity of ux, remember ux is u cos theta, when the body has reached here, its x component of velocity will remain as ux. Even if the body has reached here, its x component of velocity will remain as ux. Even on striking the ground, its x component of velocity will remain as ux. It is not going to change. But what is happening to vy? Your Vy is equal to Uy minus Gt. So the velocity along y direction keeps on changing, and if you can see, it's getting subtracted over here. So that means while going up, the y component of velocity decreases. So if the initial y component of velocity is Uy, then what is going to happen at this point? At this point, it will have a velocity called, let us say, Vy. And this are not same. Why? Because there is a gravity acting along y direction. And how to find Vy? Rely on this formula. Vy equals to Uy minus Gt. If now they ask that what is the resultant velocity at this point, so let us say this is my resultant velocity V. What was the net velocity at the point of projection? The net velocity was u. Of this u, you have two components, ux and uy. Okay? But as you go up, the resultant velocity should change. Suppose for example, if I am projecting some body with a velocity of 40 meter per second, in air when it goes up, over here definitely the velocity will not be 40, it will be less than 40, because while going up it is undergoing retardation. Am I right? So at this point, if I have to find the net velocity, I have to rely on ux and vy. Remember, ux is basically your vx, but it is not changing, so I have the liberty to write this as ux always. So if I have to find the net velocity over here, then I will use this concept of vector, that if I know the x component, if I know the y component, I can find the resultant. Resultant will be equal to ux square plus vy square. Now this angle is called beta. This angle is called beta. What is beta? Beta is the angle made by the velocity vector at a certain height after a certain time. This beta and this theta are not same again. This theta, again I will remind you, this theta is the initial angle, the velocity which the initial angle the velocity makes with the horizontal, that is called initial angle of projection. But that angle keeps changing because the velocity, one component of the velocity is changing. Okay, this component keeps on changing, and hence after some time, if they ask you what angle the net velocity makes and that angle, find that angle, and that angle we are referring here as beta. So how will you find tan beta? You can find tan beta as, used to the simple logic. Simple logic is perpendicular by base. So if this is my v, this is my ux, and this is my vy, if I construct the vector diagram, and this angle I am calling as beta. How will you find beta? Perpendicular by base. Perpendicular divided by base. And don't forget what is Vy. Vy is Uy minus Gt. And what is Uy? Uy is U sin theta. So if I use those data over here, I can write this as U sin theta minus Gt, that is the value of Vy, referring to this point, where I am putting the value of Uy as U sin theta, divided by Ux. Ux is U cos. So I can find the angle the velocity is going to make at any instant of time. For example, just imagine I have a ball and I want to throw. Okay, and let us say it goes and hits a wall. Suppose, just imagine there is a wall over here. Okay, and the question says at what angle the ball is going to hit the wall. Correct? That means they are asking you to find the value of beta. Okay, so the beta is the angle with which it's going to hit the wall. So what I have taught you just now, I have taught you just now how to find the velocity at any instant of time in a projectile motion, provided the time is given to you. Okay, if time is given to you, remember your only job is to find the value of Vy, because you know the Ux is not going to change. Once you get the value of Vy, rely on this formula to find the resultant velocity at any point or at any height, and rely on this formula to find the value of angle at which that velocity is traveling at that particular point or at that particular height. Okay, please make a note of this, and remember, this is the way, or this is the trick to find the velocity at any point or at any height. Next, I will rub this part to fill some more information over here. Next is, I will teach you now how to find the displacement at any point. So again, let us say this is my projectile motion. Let us say at any instant of time the body has reached here again. So if I consider that a shortest line between the origin and to that point is r, then what is r? R is my displacement vector. As per the definition of displacement, displacement is the shortest line joining the initial point and the final point. Okay. So, and again I am repeating on my one of my statement. They will never ask you the actual distance. Okay, the actual path. This is not at all our concern. Consider that if this has reached at this particular point, that it means that this is your y coordinate and this is my x coordinate. will you write r vector now? You can write r vector as x I cap plus y j cap. How will you find the modulus of r? Root over of x square plus y square. How will you find this angle? Let me call this angle as gamma. Now this gamma is different than angle theta. For clear understanding, this is theta. And if this is my position vector r, then this angle is gamma. Okay? So gamma and theta. Make sure you have crystal clear concept on theta, beta and gamma. Okay? Make it very clear. Theta is the angle of projection. How will you find tan gamma? Tan gamma will be equal to perpendicular by base. That is y by x. Now the question is how we are finding y and how we are going to find the value of x. Rely on this concept again. Remember the formula s equal to ut plus half at square. So I am going to use this y here. This is x part. So this is your x. U. So I will write here as ux. T is same. Plus half at square. Half at square. Ax times of t square. But what is the value of ax? Always 0. So x will be equal to ux times of t. What about the y? Y, s is y. You will write as uy. T plus half ay t square. And y will be now, what is uy? Uy is u sine theta minus half g t square. So this is how we are going to find the value of x and y. And you can put the value of ux here as u cos theta multiplied by time. Okay. So you can see here the x motion. Look at the x motion. The x motion is directly proportional to t. Directly proportional to t. What is y motion? Y motion is it is a t over here. Sorry. Y motion is a quadratic equation. Okay. So it is not. It depends on t, but it is not directly. It depends as a quadratic equation. So what I have taught you just now? I have taught you just now how to find the position vector at any instant of time. Okay, provided you know the time. Okay. Now next, let's try to do some questions for clear understanding. Then only we are going to understand this completely. Now let us say that what I'm going to use now, I'm going to use this values over here that you should know that sine 37 degree is equal to 3 by 5, which is also equal to cos 53 degree, and sine 53 degree is 4 by 5, which is also equal to cos 37 degree. This I'm going to use very frequently now. So say that I have a body which is being projected with a velocity of u which is equal to 20 meter per second. And let us say that the angle of projection is 53 degree. That is the value of theta given to you. So let us, before we proceed to the question, let us find these two things. What is my u cos theta? U cos theta will be equal to u is 20 cos 53. And that is equal to 20 cos 53 is 3 by 5. And that is equal to 5 4 20 and 4 3 is 12. So the answer is 12 meter per second. What about my u sin theta? My u sin theta, that is this component of velocity, u sin theta, the y component will be equal to 20 into sine 53 degree, and that is equal to 20 into what is sine 53? Sine 53 is 4 by 5. That is 4. That is equal to 16 meter per second. Okay. This was the expected path of the projectile. Okay. Now, This was the expected path of the projectile. Before it reaches the ground, let me put a wall here. Just imagine there is a wall over here. A big wall rather. So forget about this part. Now the actual scenario is not being mentioned to you. Okay? The question just says like this, that a body is projected with a velocity of 20 meter per second. Okay, and it has a velocity of 20 meter per second and projected at an angle of 53 degree at a distance of 2 meter. How much distance? The distance of 2 meter. There is a wall of height, let us say 60 meter. A wall is present at a distance of 2 meter, and that wall is having a height of 60 meter. Okay, I'm just exaggerating, no issue. At the end, we will learn the topic. Now, the question is this: if I project a velocity, if I project a particle with a velocity of 20 meter per second, let us say at an angle of 53 degree. Now the question here is this, that is this projectile, is it going over the wall or is it going to hit the wall? Okay, that's the question. Okay. So if I have to identify whether it is going to hit the wall or it is going to go over the wall, one thing is common here, and that thing is the 2 meters. So whatever the event is between these two. Is it going to hit or is it going to go above it? Correct? And this event is happening at one particular position along x direction, and that position is 2 meter. So whatever is going to happen, it is going to happen at a position of 2 meter along x direction. Whether it is going up or whether it is going along, whether it is going to hit or it is going to go above it. So in order to do that, so one thing is sure for us, that whatever thing is happening over here is going to happen at x equal to 2 meter. And the formula says 2 meter distance equals to u cos theta multiplied by t. Okay, remember x motion is directly proportional u cos theta into t. So what is t? T will be equal to 2 divided by u cos theta. And what is u cos theta? We have found u cos theta as 12. So this is equal to 12. That is equal to 1 by 6 second. Now let's find mathematically. Remember, now we are going to find mathematically. Let's try to find mathematically the value of y. What is happening at what is the value of y mathematically? Mathematically, the formula is u sin theta into t minus half g times of t square. So y will be equal to, what is the value of u sin theta? U sin theta is 16. So 16 into 1 by 6 minus half into 10 into 1 by 6 the whole square. And that is equal to, this will become your 8 by 3 minus 5 into 1 by 36. Okay, and that is equal to, if I have to find the LCM of 36 and 3, and this will be equal to 36. Okay, so the LCM is 36. So if the LCM is 36, then you have this will be 12. So this will become 12 into 8 minus, this is 1, and this will be your 1. And that calculation will give you 8 to the 16, remember 1, 8 ones are 1, 9, okay, 12 is 96, and minus 5 divided by 36, and that is equal to 91 divided by 36. 91 divided by 36 is beyond, it's like much less than, it's near about 3 meter only, near about only 3 meters. So at 2 meter it is near about 3 meter. But what is the height of the wall? The height of the wall is 60 meters. So it is very much obvious that the path taken by the body, this is the y, it is going to hit the wall. Okay? Because for x equal to 2 meter, the corresponding y value is 91 by 36, which is way beyond less than 60 meter. So definitely it is going to hit the wall. Okay, that is our conclusion now. if it is hitting the wall, at what angle it is going to hit the wall. Okay, so if I have to find at what angle it is going to hit the wall, remember I have to first find the value of ux. Ux I already know, that is 12 meter per second. And now I am going to find the value of Vy. Vy is equal to Uy minus Gt. And Uy we have found as 16 minus G. G is 10, T is 1 by 6, and hence it will be your 6 minus 5 by 3, and that is equal to 16, 3, that is 48. 48 minus 5 divided by 3, and that is equal to 43 divided by 3. This is my Vy. Once you know the Vy and Ux, how will you find that angle which is going to hit the wall? So if I consider that this is my wall and the body is going to hit it like this, that means this angle is beta. So tan beta will be equal to perpendicular by base, and perpendicular is 43 by 3 and divided by base is 12, and we can use calculator to find beyond this. This is what happens in a projectile motion. Some data will be given to you, some data they will ask you to write. Remember, the bridge between x and y, the bridge. X component is independent. X component is decided by x velocity, is decided by x acceleration, okay, and y component is dependent on the y velocity and y acceleration. What is the bridge between them? The bridge between them is time. So sometime if y is given to you, find that time using y, use that time to find the x. Sometime x will be given to you, use the x equation to find that time and use that time to find the y. But what we did here is, x was given to us, we use the x to find the time, and then we use that time to find the y. Time has no x and y component, okay? Time is time, okay? Look at this question now. This is another very interesting part. There is a pole, and in this pole, I have a toy which is attached here. There is a toy attached over there. And this pole has a height of 5 meters. The question is, from where I should project a body, let us say with 20 meters per second at an angle of 53 degrees, so that it will hit the toy. Now look at here. What is the event here? The event here is hitting the toy. Okay? And this event should take place. Now remember, x is unknown for us. I don't know x. But definitely one thing is sure, that the event is taking place at a height of 5 meters. Okay? The question is, how we are going to find the value of x from it. I'll just give you the overview of doing this question, and it will come with a very interesting result over there. So I will start with the event called y. Y is equal to u sine theta into t minus half g times of t square. If I put the value of y is 5 equals to u is how much? 20, and then we will write here as sine 53 multiplied by t minus half into 10 into t square. And that is equal to 20. Sine 53 is 4 by 5 multiplied by t minus 5 times of t square, and this becomes 16t minus 5t square is equal to 5. What is this? This is a quadratic equation. Now if I start solving this quadratic equation, I will get a result like this, and then I will write the value of t. T is equal to minus b, that is minus of 16, plus minus root over of b square. B square is 16 square minus 16 square minus 4ac. A is 5 and c is also 5. Divided by 4ac divided by 2a. So 2 into 5. And that is equal to 16 plus minus root over of 16 square minus 5 4s are 20, and 20 into 5 is 100. And 16 square is more than 100. Okay? Divided by 10. Here I am going to get 2 times. So 1 times T1 will be equal to 16 minus root over of 16 square minus 100 divided by 10, and T2 will be equal to 16 plus root over of 16 square minus 100 divided by 10. And both these times are positive. Both of them are positive. Mind it, both of them are positive. What does it mean? Does it mean that there are 2 instants that you can hit it? Answer is yes. There are 2 instants when you are going to hit it. Remember, one time is less because there is a minus sign, and one time is plus because there is a plus sign over here. What are these 2 instants? How it is possible? In a projectile motion, if I consider a point where it attains a height of 5 meter, definitely there is another instant also when it is going to attain a height of 5 meters. So you have an option. Either you can hit it from this as the x, or you can hit it maintaining this as the x. That is your wish. Let me call this as x dash. Okay? That means once it is going to hit it when it is going up, and then again it is going to hit it when it is coming down. Okay? So how will you get x? X you can find by using the formula of u cos theta multiplied by t1, the lesser time, minus sign, and x dash you can find as u cos theta multiplied by t2, the smaller time, the larger time. Okay, so you have this option of finding it with 2 times, with 2 values of time. You have this option of throwing the ball so that it is going to hit. It depends on your wish whether it is going to hit early or whether you want to hit it later, or whether you want to hit it from the bottom or whether you want to hit from the top. Okay, it's your wish. Okay, so this is how this projectile motion plays. The equation plays a role here. So it's very important that we understand the equations. It's very important that we understand the outcome of the equations when we solve it, and then we have to analyze it physically. Remember, physics gives meaning to mathematical equations. It gives a meaning to it. Okay, it gives a real situation. It deals with a real situation in real world. Okay, so that's it now. Now here there is some more fascinating facts coming up in projectile motion. I am sure that I am not going to derive the formula for the maximum height attained or the range formula, the time taken formula. All those things I will not derive. I will just give you the formula because it's so easy that you can do it with the same trick. R is equal to u square sine 2 theta divided by g, and time of flight is equal to 2u sine theta divided by g. These are the 3 formulas. This is 2 theta, not square. Okay. These are the formulas of maximum height attained, the range, and the time of flight. Okay. Well, my intention is something different. One suggestion I can give you: always remember these formulas in this manner. U square sine square theta. U sine theta is my y component. Now this gives a clear picture to you. Who is height? On what factor it depends? It depends on the factor of vertical velocity along the x direction, along the y direction initially. Sine 2 theta has a formula. If you remember the formula, it says 2 sine theta cos theta divided by g. Okay. This now you can write as 2 u sine theta multiplied by u cos theta divided by g. What is u sine theta and what is u cos theta? So this I request you to remember it as uy multiplied by ux divided by g. So range depends on both the components of velocity, x component as well as y component. Okay. So remember the range formula in this manner, and remember the time of flight formula in this manner. Even if you see the time of flight only depends on uy. So there are 2 variables h and t that depends on uy, whereas range depends on both uy as well as ux. So I suggest you make a note of this, that you remember that formula of h, r and t in this manner, not in this manner. This is going to mislead you if the question is just twisted. Okay? Rely on that other formula. Okay. Start. With this, I am going to end the lecture also. And look at here, this is very, very interesting coming up. U cos theta, U sin theta. Now, if I consider a particular height, let us say y, and I know that the same height is again attained in the projectile motion. Okay? If I consider that the body is crossing this point at time t1 and then it crosses this point at time t2, such that from here to here is t1 and from here to here is time t2, then what is the time between the crossing of these two heights? That means how much time it will spend from this point to that point, and this point to that point is t2 minus t1. Now if I use the concept of time of ascent equal to time of descent, so if I consider that from here to here, if it takes a time of t1, definitely from here to here, it should again take the same time of t1. Very important. If from here to here it takes time t1, then from here to here also it takes time t1. So this is t2, this is t1. So what is time of flight? Time of flight is equal to t2 plus t1. Correct? Okay. Come back to this equation. Y is equal to u sin theta into t minus half gt square. Y equation. Arrange them. So you will write this as half gt square minus u sin theta into t plus y is equal to 0. So far so good. When you want to find the time over here for a value of y, how will you find time? T is equal to minus b. This is minus b, so you will write minus of g by 2. The coefficient of t square is, this is coefficient a. Minus b is this one, u sin theta. So you will write here as minus u sin theta, that's minus b, plus minus. For those who are struggling, that let me tell you that what I am using is a formula called minus b plus minus root over of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay, so minus of minus u sin theta plus minus root over of b square. What is b square? B square is minus u sin theta the whole square minus 4ac. Minus 4ac. What is a? A is g by 2 and c is y. This is your y. Divided by 2a, and a is again g by 2. So minus b plus minus b square root over of b square minus 4ac, and this is 2a. 2 into g by 2. And then we solve this. So what is t1? T1 will be equal to u sin theta minus this term in the bracket and divided by this 2 and 2 will get cancelled out, so you will get g, and t2 will be equal to u sin theta plus the plus sign over here, and the minus sign over here will be for t1 and the plus sign over here will be for t2. Root over of, I am not writing this root over thing because I have a very different intention altogether right now. Okay. Now what is T1 plus T2? Remember T1 plus T2 is what our intention was. T1 plus T2. What is T1 plus T2? T1 plus T2 is equal to u sin theta by g plus root over of this by g plus then T1. And this is T1. This is T2. Okay? Plus T1. T1 is u sin theta divided by g minus root over of that factor divided by g. This is my T1 plus T2. T1 plus T2. And now if I open the bracket, this term and this term will get cancelled out. There is a minus here and there is a plus here. So what you got? You got this as 2u sin theta by g. And what is that? It is exactly nothing but time of flight. Okay. You might be thinking, why sir is teaching all these things? This is just to prove you something. And that something is this. In quadratic equation, In quadratic equation, we have a logic, and that logic is ax square plus bx plus c if it is equal to 0. And let us say that this quadratic equation has two roots, alpha and beta. I hope you know this. Then the addition of two roots, alpha plus beta, is always equal to minus b. Okay? If alpha and beta are the two roots of a quadratic equation, then the addition of that quadratic equation, the addition of those two solutions. Okay, if alpha and beta are the two roots, then the addition of those two roots is always equal to minus b by a. Why this is very important for us over here? Whenever you write the y equation, I am going to give you the best possible way of finding the time of flight. The time of flight. So suppose if this is my quadratic equation, this quadratic equation has two roots, t1 and t2. Then the addition of those two roots, t1 and t2, must be equal to minus b by a, minus b. What is b? b is this term, that is minus u sine theta, by a. What is a? A is g by 2. What we got? What we have got is a very surprising thing. We have got the time of flight formula in a fraction of second, 2u sine theta divided by g, and done. From equation, use the property time of flight, done. 2u sine theta by g. So if any equation is given to you, and if they ask you what is the time of flight, for example, suppose if somebody says that along y direction the equation is 2t square minus 4t plus 10 equals to 0. Find the time of flight. So the time of flight will be equal to minus b by a. Minus b by a, and that is equal to 4 by 2, and that is equal to 2 seconds is your time of flight. Right away in fraction of second. Okay. So with this I conclude my class, and we will come with in the second lecture we are going to see some more interesting things of projectile motion. Okay. Thank you.